And how are you today?
We are fine.
What are we doing here?
Well, we are here for round 2.
That's right, round 2 of the Nitto Tire United States Touring Car Championship, and we are at
Tooele, Utah.
Tooele, Utah. We are at Miller Motorsports Park, and what an amazing facility we are at.
Oh my God, the elevation changes, the track format, qualifying format, it's...
Extracurricular activities, we're going to cover those all. But first, let's give you a look at the track here. They've got a lot of different configurations. We're running the outer track ring today. The outer track ring is a 3.06 mile course. What you do want to note is our front straight here is 3/5 of a mile in length. That is a really long front straight. Some of our high-powered cars are going to do really well.
And some of us low horsepower cars aren't going to do so well, but the offset is that the corners, and we should have a fairly balanced competitive race with the differences in cars.
We absolutely should. You mentioned an elevation change. We don't just have elevation change in our road course like we typically do in the road courses that we run. We also are sitting up pretty high here just outside of Salt Lake City. So 4,000 or so in feet elevation, what's that going to do to our cars?
Well, the naturally aspirated cars are going to struggle a little bit. The turbo cars should be okay. And like I said, I think it's going to be enough to balance out the field.
Okay, so always something different. Another thing that we're running a little bit different is our qualifying session today. So what can you tell me about the qualifying?
Well, qualifying we're going to do in 2 stages. Today we're going to race for pole tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to run a single car shootout for qualifying. So 1 car at a time, and that will set the field for the race.
That'll be excellent. This will be the first time we've done that format for qualifying. We've got a great opportunity here at this track. The drivers are going to get out. We're going to see how they like the track. Sunday, we've had qualifying for today. I'll let Doug tell you where he placed in that, but let's focus on yesterday first. Tell me what you thought of the track.
It's an amazing, fun track. It's a blast to be here. This is the first time I'm driving here, and the team has done a phenomenal job. P-Tech built a brand new build E46 M3 for this season. This is our 2nd race in it. First time this new car has been on this track. First time the crew's seen it. First time I've seen it. Brand new suspension went in between races. So can you imagine showing up to a brand new track, having to sort a suspension? You know, driver needs to learn the track, and the crew hasn't been here, doesn't know what to expect. So we had our hands full on the test day Friday and today, but with good results.
The car looks like it's coming together. We've had a rough weekend, but yeah, pretty happy with that P1 position.
Excellent. Yeah, a little bit rough. You got here on Friday, so new track for you, new car, new track. Have you driven Miller before?
I was here in 2009, yeah, for the Nationals, so I have a little bit of experience on it.
Okay, well, great. So a little bit of experience, but getting in on Friday, you've been experiencing a little bit of mechanical issues with the car that you've been working on all weekend.
Yeah, so it looks like we blew up the clutch on Friday, so we've got a stock replacement, and that didn't seem to hold up. Then we're on our 3rd clutch, and that one is working, but then we had an oil leak on the transmission, so we've been fighting that, and I think we got that resolved. So I think today we should have a good, strong car for the whole race.
Great. Well, even with clutch issues, a finishing position of number 1 is really good for the race. We talked a little bit to one of your competitors, to Doug, a little while ago, and talked about this qualifying format. What did you think of the qualifying format? That complete change for our series.
Yeah, that was a little shock to me to hear about the format. But I'm actually okay with that because I typically will go out hot right out of the gate, and I usually turn my fastest times in the first lap or 2. So. I was okay with it.
Hi, this is Loretto Stribling, and I'm here today with Rick Nanini at the Miller Motorsports Park near beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, for round 2 of the Nitto Tires United States Touring Car Championship.
Awesome, Loretto. It's great to be here. And this weekend, there's so much stuff happening. The USTCC is running with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Series here in beautiful Salt Lake City. And there's so much activities going on around the track. And we're going to show you just a few minutes of what was going on all weekend long.
Lights, camera, action, time for me to lose myself. Get lost in the music, melody, just take me over. I gotta move, I'm gonna burst like a shooting star. Yeah, I was made to move my body. I was made to move my body. I was made to move my body. Nothing's gonna hold me back. Nothing's gonna hold me back. side to side with their hands up. This beat is really pumping, makes me wanna explode. Lights, camera, action, time for me to lose myself. Get lost in the music, melody, just take me over. I gotta go, I gotta move, I'm gonna burst like a shooting star. Yeah, I was me to move my body. I was me to move my body. I was me to move my body. Nothing's gonna hold me back. Nothing's gonna hold me. I was me to move my body. I was me to move my body. I was me.
Beautiful weather, so much going on. Looks like there was something for everybody out there this weekend.
I'm telling you, this track is just a fabulous track. But you know what? The race is about to start. The Kia Optima Hybrid safety car is leading the pack. And these guys were about to get the green flag any second now as we get on board with Doug Makishima in his Performance Technique BMW M3, who's following here the two top cars as the green flag drops. And here's where the action started. Doug was in the middle of the action the whole weekend long, as he's dicing with the two other BMW M3s of Brad McClure in his GoGoGear.com BMW M3, the yellow car, and Dave Brown in the Life's Good Racing Hawk Brakes BMW M3 in the black car. These guys were at it the whole weekend long.
Take a look here. This is where Doug passes Dave Brown for second place.
Doug made a solid move on Dave Brown here, passes him, looks like with ease, and now sets his sight on first place, trying to get by Brad McClure's BTM Motorworks Go-Go Gear BMW, the yellow car you see right there. Brad has been the quickest car all weekend long, but Doug wanted a piece of it, and he got really close, as you can see here. This is Brad's rear view camera, but Doug went off.
Watch this. This is exciting.
This was close because he did a tank slapper. Dave Brown intentionally drove off-road, made a huge off-road excursion into the weeds. Looked like he was another zip code by the time he got back on the track finally. But both cars made it through without damage, but it could have been huge disaster, taking out 2, maybe 3, 4 more cars.
Crazy.
But here we are. We see the same thing on board now with Doug. He was getting really close under braking, but just seemed like he lost a little bit of grip on the exit, got in the dirt, and the car got away from him. And after that, he was just for a ride, and you can see how close it was with Dave Brown, as everything just spinning around, gravel flying everywhere. They have a lot of stuff to clean in this car. Oh boy! But yeah, it was a pretty big deal. And here we see we're gonna see a replay in slow motion of the whole thing again.
Wow, that was really close. That could have been disastrous.
It could have been, and he's just lucky that Dave intentionally drove off road to avoid a collision. That was bad. But now, after all this happened, Brad McClure was in first place all by himself because everybody else was having issues. As we're here on board with Ali Arshan's GoGoGear.com Hyundai Genesis, who I think for the most part was running in fourth place during the race. See a little bit of action here on board the GoGoGear.com Hyundai Genesis Coupe. After all that, the Hyundai Genesis Coupe of Arsham now was going after the BMW M3 of Doug Makishima. He chased Doug down, and Doug apparently had some technical issues, looked like, because he kept slowing down, and the Hyundai caught up to the BMW and eventually passed them for fourth place, which was really good as far as the points are concerned, and it really shuffled things around. The BMW unfortunately had to pit a little bit later with mechanical problems, and they just basically had to give up.
Wow. Out of the race?
Out of the race with clutch problems, I guess, but we don't know.
That's too bad.
And here we are on board with the GT winner, which was the BMW M3 of Geoff Sykes. who does a nice, beautiful drift move on the last lap, and we have it in 3 different cameras for you. But that was basically the race.
You gotta love those BMW M3s.
They are really nice cars, and they're really popular cars. And here are your top winners in the different awards. That was it for the weekend. That's the Miller Motorsports Park.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We had to go to a backup car. AJ let us borrow his MX-6. We couldn't get the Speed 3 back together in time. I'm proud of that little car. It took a beating all weekend. It doesn't have so many ponies under the hood, but it's tough as nails because I flogged that poor thing, and I was trying to kind of save laps because cars shouldn't be driven like that for too long. But that thing held tough. We were up to second, real close to Brad at times. Just got caught down the straightaway on the white flag. Needed one more lap. I was still close enough to Dave. In the second last turn, I actually touched him, but just not quite there.
Yeah, it was a good finish for us. We qualified third, and it was going to be a good fight, and indeed it was. And it got a little dicey there. The performance touring guys they kind of went off there, and we had to do some major collision avoidance strategy. So I was out in the lovely grasslands of Tooele for a while and brought it back on track, and was able to chase down Tim Barber. Did a great job driving that TNI car, and we were able to chase him down late in the race and get back by for second place. So that was good. We didn't tear the M3 up, and Hawk paid off for us. I had to really lean on those brakes to catch those guys after getting set so far back in the race, and but we ran them down. We got by. One more spot to go, but we ran out of time.
You're 2 for 2. Congratulations, Brad.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely a fun race. It's exciting to win 2 in a row, for the first time in this season. So we got to thank definitely my crew for that. Without them, we definitely wouldn't have been here with all the troubles we had. So in the race, the car held together, and Dave got a good start and pulled away a little bit, but it's obvious our car has some better handling, and we just were able to pretty much drive around him and then just kind of held it off from there.
Here, I didn't get to watch it, but I hear you did a little drift action coming on back onto the front straight on that checker flag lap.
Yeah, because we actually came out here with light on tires, I had to run the tires all weekend, and they were really starting to go towards the end. And come around that last turn, just broke a little loose, was able to catch it and broke it loose again, but just going for the finish. But I'd like to thank Replay Cameras for putting me out here, as well as Perfect Fitness, and most importantly, my dad.
And now, with the magic of television, we're moving from Salt Lake City to the beautiful town of Monterey, California for round 3 of Nitto Tires United States Touring Car Championship.
And not just anywhere, we're moving to Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, one of the most beautiful racetracks in the country. And here we are with the starting grid of the United States Touring Car Championship. In pole position in the GT class, we have Andrie Hartanto in the SuperTech CT Engineering Honda S2000.
Outside row 1, we have Karl Chicca, Hawk Performance Competition Clutch Chevrolet Camaro.
Next to him is Sean Yepes, Performance Technique BMW M3.
Outside row 2, Geoff Sykes, European Motorworks BMW M3.
Inside of row 3, Dave Lang, White Pot Bar and Grill, Ghost Horse Wine, BMW M3.
Outside row 3, Rob Rodriguez, TH Motorsports, Noble M400.
On the inside now, on the pole position in the touring class, Tim Barber, TNI Racing, American Canyon Collision, Mazdaspeed 3.
Outside row 1, Doug Makishima, TNI Racing, American Canyon Collision, Mazdaspeed 3.
Next to him, inside of row 2, Dave Brown, Hawk Brake, Competition Clutch, BMW M3.
Outside row 2, Ollie Arsham, GoGoGear.com, UTI BTM, Hyundai Genesis.
Inside row 3, we have John Klusendorf in the DeLeese Nash and Associates, Mitsubishi Lancer.
Outside row 3, we have Webb and McManus team, Motul N1 Concepts, Lexus IS 300.
Next is Sean Yu in the Downport Autobody HBD Honda Civic.
Outside row 4, Brad McClure, GoGoGear.com, BTM, BMW M3.
And McClure had to switch cars because they had transmission problems in their main car. Pete Bovenberg is inside of row 5 in the MBO Motorsports Honda Civic.
Outside row 5, Ron Valtier, GoGoGear.com, BTM, Acura Integra.
And next, finally, we have Larry Banney in the GoGo Gear BTM BMW M3.
Outside row 6, Tom Milburn, Bay Area Drafting, Acura RSX.
And that's our grid for this race. Now let's see what happens at the start. At the start of the standing start, Geoff Sykes, we're on board with Geoff Sykes, and he had a great start. But you know who had a better start? Was the Camaro of Karl Chicca, who goes storming to the lead. But unfortunately, he lost it all under braking and got passed by 2 cars. Geoff Sykes managed to go a little bit wide, which opened the door for Andrie Hartanto's Honda S2000 to take the lead in the early stages. And that was one of the best moves we saw in the start there. That was probably one of the moves of the race, which really set the stage. In the touring class, we have Dave Brown in the Competition Clutch Hawk Brakes BMW M3, who also had a phenomenal start. Went from, I believe, 3rd to 1st by turn 1 and was leading the touring class in the early stages. As you can see here, he's chasing the GT cars and had a great jump. Dave was second in the points and was trying to add to his points totals for the race.
Contrary to Dave, Tim Barber had a terrible start.
Yes, Tim in the American Canyon Collision Mazdaspeed 3 was on pole, but unfortunately he was a little late coming off and got passed by Dave Brown. As you can see, Dave took the lead and managed to actually get in front of him in turn 2 to make sure that Tim does not pass him. And this battle actually was a pretty sweet battle for the first few corners of the turns.
Tim looked like he was having a hard time there in the beginning, but he was not about to give up.
No, he wasn't. And this guy is a professional, and he was all over Dave, actually gaining some speed through that last turn, turn 4. And at turn 5, makes his move, uses a little bit of momentum loss by Dave Brown's BMW there, and makes an outside pass on Dave. And after that, it was goodbye, everybody, as Tim was untouchable during the whole weekend, easily pulling away from Dave Brown and actually catching up to some of the backmarker GT cars here. But some of the here we are on board Dave Brown for the same thing. We see that pass there as Tim just basically marches on and passes Dave Brown. However, behind the pack there was tons of action here as we're on board with Scott Webb in the McManus Webb team in their Motul Fresno TAP Lexus IS300, as we see Ali Arsham and John Klusendorf going side by side through. These guys actually went side by side through turn 3, 4, and then finally at turn 5, Arsham made the move and passed the Mitsubishi for good. But this was a big pack right here. There were about 5 or 6 cars here dicing for the lead, and as you see, the Lexus got a little bit of momentum loss, and all of a sudden 2 cars went by.
This is just how tight the competition is in the USTCC.
It is amazing. I mean, you make one little mistake and all of a sudden a bunch of cars go by you, as we see the same thing again from the outside view as the Lexus gets passed by 2 cars right there. Here we are on board John Klusendorf's Mitsubishi Lancer Rally Yard as he's chasing down the Hyundai Genesis Coupe of Ali Arsham, the yellow car in front of you, as they 2 of them kind of go side by side through turn 2, turn 3, and finally up to turn 5.
Meanwhile, the GT class is led by Andrie Hartanto.
Yeah, that beautiful orange and silver S2000, but behind him you have a big pack of cars and chasing for GT, and of course a few seconds behind them we have the big pack of the touring cars. But Hartanto's S2000 was really hooked up as he's being chased by the two M3s. Second place was Sean Yepes in the BMW M3 of Performance Technique, and behind him was Geoff Sykes, our points leader in the GT class in the Perfect Fitness BMW M3 as well. Meanwhile, behind them, Tim Barber was leading the touring class, but the big battle was between Dave Brown's BMW M3 and Doug Makashima's blue Mazdaspeed 3. The two of them were dicing back and forth, passing each other several times every lap, and fighting for second place. And behind them was the Hyundai Genesis Coupe of Ali Arsham, the yellow cars you see by, and behind him was the Mitsubishi Lancer of John Klusendorf. As you see, the Chevy Camaro of Karl Chicca just spun out there, had a little collision with one of the touring cars, I believe, and but that didn't shift too many cars around, but made the pack much tighter. As you see here, the Mitsubishi almost runs into the back of the Hyundai. But this was also a great fight with second, third, fourth, fifth, all close by. But behind them, our points leader, Brad McClure, GoGoGear.com BTM BMW M3. Remember, he broke his transmission early on in the main car, had to borrow his teammate's car to be in the points championship to remain there, and he had a big fight with the Mitsubishi Lancer, dicing for that position, trying to get as many points as possible to keep his points championship alive, and hopefully win the championship, as has been the target all season long.
Yeah, Tim Barber was in the lead, but the real race was happening right behind him. That's where everybody was duking it out for most of the race.
Yeah, you know, Dave Brown was in second for most of the race, followed by Makashima, Arsham, Klusendorf, and then McClure in his backup BMW M3. But, you know, it was hard to keep track of the battle, but that was because they were basically passing each other several times a lap. So it was really hard to keep track of who was where, but that's how things are at Laguna Seca Mazda Raceway. This place is an amazing racetrack for a reason, and there's so many places to pass, and if you make a little mistake, you can lose a lot of time. Hey, there's a lot of concrete walls around here and things.
You have to stay on your game.
Yes, exactly. And if you make a little mistake, you could lose a lot of time, or you can crash. So
absolutely, very dangerous.
You have to definitely be on your game, as you said. Very well put. But anyway, as we get back to the action here, we are on board with the Hyundai Genesis Coupe of Arsham and the GoGoGear.com Hyundai Genesis Coupe, as he had kind of a close call here, as we're about to see, as he's lapping some cars. Something happened with Doug Makashima's blue Mazda M3. You see a little bit belch of flame coming out, and he tries to go around them, and you can see the car's having some issues.
Oh yeah.
And this was
look at that.
Yeah, it was tough. And then he's trying to still block, and it was hairy for a moment there. But with this move, Arsham moved himself to third place. A solid move for the Hyundai Genesis Coupe. This keeps getting faster and faster at each race. But as you see, there's hardly anybody in front of him, so there's a big gap. Dave Brown had really marched up at this point and moved up to, there's Dave Brown as he goes by. So there was about a 7-8 second gap for Dave Brown that Arsham just wasn't able to close down near the end. Meanwhile, in the GT class, the leader is Andrie Hartanto in that silver and orange Honda S2000. Looks like he's going to go home then with the victory today.
That is a good-looking car there.
Yeah, I guess that's the good color combination, right? Silver and orange is the winning combination,
It's really sharp, and it seems like it's working for him.
Yeah, so as Arsham takes checkered flag in third place, in the GT class, we had Andrie Hartanto, followed by Sean Yepes, and in the touring class, first place was Tim Barber, followed by Dave Brown, and third place, Ali Arsham in that Hyundai Genesis Coupe, followed by Brad McClure in the BMW M3.
Brown, we know he's great off the line, and he did actually get the whole shot, but T&I car, the Mazdaspeed 3, was quick all weekend. We had a couple of little mechanical stuff, but we fixed all that. Strapped an extra fire bottle into the car after that went off for qualifying on a Saturday. But I knew that if I could just get off the line, not lose too many positions, the car's fast enough. If it didn't break, it was going to win.
And it won.
Yes.
Excellent. You've been here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca before. What do you think of this track?
Yeah, no, I'm not a local to the Northern California area, so I don't make it up to these tracks that often.
Okay.
So when we do, it's always a treat because the tracks up here are world class. And Laguna Seca, you always see it on TV, video games, all that kind of stuff. So to be able to really race out here is really a treat. And yeah, the fact that we have a running car at the end of the weekend and that we were able to make the race and gain a position is all a bonus.
Well, I had an awesome time driving the Performance Technic M3. The way I know the team is interesting, I actually just take my car there for service. And I just saw how meticulous they were working on my car, and I sort of made friends with the guys at the shop. I went to a few track days with them and found out they're building a race car, and they just invited me to drive the car a couple weeks ago, and I was super excited about the opportunity.
Finished. That's 3 seconds out of 3 races, but I'm really happy with that.
Hey,
I think,
points is points.
Yeah, it's great points, and boy, here at Mazda Laguna Seca, just fantastic track. Very demanding on the brakes, and those Hawk brakes just pulled it out for me. Let me tell you, we've yet to really, go through this car,
right.
And I had to just rely on those super insanely strong Hawk brake pads, and they lasted. They just went through the whole weekend. It was unbelievable. So it was a great run for our team. We had really good points day. Like I said.
The crew's been working awesome. Spencer has done an awesome job helping out, and we've been working on it day and night. Lance, Spencer, all the guys at UTI, Terry, it's just been crazy, lots of work. But Genesis, the GoGoGear.com UTI Genesis Coupe has gotten stronger and stronger. We knew we had a good car yesterday, went a second faster, I think, in the race today, which was really nice. And I think it's got more speed in it left. We just have to, put more time into it and do more testing. And
Thanks for joining us. Tune in again next time when we'll bring you another exciting episode of Final Drive TV with the latest news from the world of cars. For more information and to view complete episodes, please visit us at finaldrive.net.